Hi there, I'm Tara Kessner. Welcome to this body maintenance class. It's a full body stretch designed to use when you're a little low energy. It's a good class to do after you've had a long day at work, or maybe you've already worked out, maybe you're traveling, maybe you're getting over a virus. But it's a good thing to do to work through the aches and pains without exerting yourself too much. Now for this class, you're going to need some sort of strap. If you don't have a proper yoga strap, it's no big deal. Just grab a t-shirt or a towel or a belt. It only needs to be about that long. You don't need anything super long. So go ahead and wrangle something like that up and come on back. Now, if you like this class, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel for more free content. I would really appreciate that. Now let's get started. Let's talk about the two different kinds of breaths we're going to use today. We're going to use an expanding breath and a sinking breath. All that means is on the expanding breath, you're going to focus on your inhale. And on your sinking breath, you're going to focus on your exhale, and we will target each part of the body with that breath. So here we go. We're going to start out in all fours. Now from all fours, come down onto your elbows. And bring your palms to touch. Your toes can be tucked or untucked, your choice. Drop your head and begin to lift your hands off the mat. Bring your thumbs towards the back of your head or maybe the back of your neck. Now shift your hips back closer to your feet, but not all the way down. And if you still need more, walk your elbows forward for more sensation in the upper back. Now use that expansive breath. Take an inhale, focus on your back ribs, puffing them up. And then exhale. If you'd like, think about my hands resting on the sides of your upper back. And as you inhale, push into my hands. And as you exhale, fall away. One more breath here. Big inhale. And then let it go. From here, we'll lower the hands to the mat and look up. We're going to come down onto our bellies. Working our way into Sphinx Pose, moving the feet as wide as the mat and then untucking the toes. The elbows are right under the shoulders. And we're going to turn the palms into the mat. If this is too much for your low back, walk your elbows forward and just stay here. But if you're able to bring your elbows in under your shoulders, press your palms down, kind of clawing at your mat a little bit, and begin to draw your chest through your arms as if you're trying to drag yourself forward on your belly. Your elbows will move back a little towards your wrist, or at least it'll feel like they are. Expansive breath right into the chest. Big inhale, puff your chest up. And then let it go. Another big inhale here. And then exhale. One more. Big inhale. And then exhale. Let it go. Lower yourself down, bringing your hands next to your chest. Push yourself off the ground. Walk your knees up under you. Drop your head and round your spine into a cat stretch, sucking your belly button in slightly, and then a little spinal mobility. As you inhale, drop your belly, lift your face. Cow pose. As you exhale, round back into that cat stretch, tucking the tail under. Inhale, back to cow pose. Exhale, round up into that cat stretch. One more time, inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. And come to a nice neutral spine. From here, we're going to work on the shoulders a little bit. So let's slide the right hand forward a little. And then turn your left palm up and reach under that left arm, lowering yourself down, resting your head, keeping your hips high. Now actively push the ground away with that right hand and keep reaching as if I've got a hold of your left hand and I'm pulling you through. Close your eyes. Focus on that space between your shoulder blades and take a big expanding breath. And then let it go. Relax and release on the exhale. Two more of those. Big inhale. Keep pushing with that right hand. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And let it go. Let's bring it on up. Take it over to the other side. Left hand goes up close to that upper left-hand corner. Reach through, lower down, rest your head on the ground. Now push the ground away. Create some active tension in the shoulders. Now use your breath here. Inhale right into that space between your shoulder blades. And then let it go slowly. Big, expansive breath. And then let it go. One more of these. And then let it go. Make your way back to all fours when you're finished with that third breath. Lower yourself down onto your belly. Let's get the fronts of the shoulders now. So you're going to slide your arms straight out from your shoulders, lowering down, looking to the right, resting on your left cheek. Keeping that right arm straight, you're going to slide it up over your head. And then bend your elbows, you drag your hand down. It'll go past your face. Bring it down right next to your chest so your thumb is kind of poking yourself right in the side. Now pushing into that right hand, you're going to begin to roll onto your left side. If you can, bring your knees forward and stack them on top of each other. And then find a place where your neck is comfortable to rest your head. If you'd like a little more here, that left hand, you can start to inch it higher than your shoulder. And you should feel it right in the front of that left pec, right where your arm attaches to your chest. Now a sinking breath here. Focus on your exhale and allow your chest to sink into the ground as you blow the air out. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Now really sink in on your exhale. 1 more. Blow it out. And as you finish that third breath, come back to that starting position, but this time looking to the left. Resting your head down, slide your left hand up over your head, and then drag your hand down past your face and all the way next to your chest. As you do, push into that left hand, rolling yourself onto your right side. Make sure your neck is comfortable. Move your head until it is. If you want more, you can inch the hand up a little higher than the shoulder on the right side. And then those 3 sinking breaths. Really focus on really dropping the front of that shoulder into the ground as you blow the air out. Do that 2 more times. Inhale. Long, slow exhale. 1 more. And exhale, let it go. Sink in there. And when you finish, roll back onto your belly, and I will meet you in all fours. Push yourself on up. Now let's work on a little mobility in that shoulder. Sweep that right arm up high, opening up. And then as you exhale, thread the needle, bring it down and through. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, reach it down and through. 1 more, inhale up. Big wingspan. Exhale, down and through. Bring it back to all fours, and we'll do that 3 times on the left. Inhale as you sweep that left hand high. Exhale as you reach through as far as you can. Inhale up. Exhale down. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Bring it back to all fours. Maybe wag out your tail a little bit. And then go ahead and have a seat. We'll start to work on the neck. So we've worked upper back, we've worked shoulders, and now we're going to focus on the neck. This is where you're going to need that strap. You can put it behind you, and I'm going to show you what to do with it when you need it. So just set it where you can grab it. Now, if you're able to easily interlace your fingers together behind your back, that's great. If you can't, go ahead and grab that strap and hold it just in a way that your wrists are aimed towards each other behind your back. You can give yourself as much as you need to. Little bend in the elbows and let your thumbs rest lightly against your back. Now, This is a lot of isometric movement. So you're going to feel it, but you're not going to see any movement. What I'd like you to do is draw your wrists and your forearms towards each other. They're not going to move very much. Now that space between your shoulder blades, take a breath in and puff that space up. You can let go of the breath, but hold that position. Now begin to lift your head like a turtle up and out of its shell, lengthening your neck. Take a nice even breath here. 5 counts in, 5 counts out. Relax on the exhale. And then we're going to release. Now you're going to grab the strap if you're not using it. You're just going to hold on to it fairly close behind your back. And you're going to bring your hands over to your right hip. And then you can lengthen out the strap. So you can bring this right hand in front of you. We're trying to lower and anchor in this shoulder. So we're going to hold on to it here. Now you're going to drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Or if you like to think of it, drop your ear towards the same side where your hands are. You might even lean a little bit. Keep your face pointed forward though. We're working the medial scalene and out the upper trapezius. Take a sinking breath. Focus on the exhale. And then take another one, allowing your head to be heavy as you exhale. One more. And as you finish that breath, let your head float up. Release that tension. And take a second bite at the apple now. So when you're ready, breath in. Lean, dropping the right ear towards the right shoulder on the exhale. Now begin to turn your face down, looking at the ground. And finish by drawing your chin a little closer to your chest. Now hopefully you're feeling it up the back of your neck and still into the upper trapezius, the top of your shoulder. Sinking breaths, blowing it out slow, letting your head be heavy on the exhale. 2 more breaths here. One more breath here. As you finish that breath, let your head float on up. Let go of the strap or tighten it up a little so you can interlace your fingers behind your back. We're going to do that same neck stretch again. But this time, lift your hands away from your back a little bit. Now engage, bringing the forearms towards each other if you can. And then puff up that space between the shoulder blades by taking a breath in, separating the shoulder blades a little more. Create some space. Now lifting your head, lengthening your neck like a turtle. And then a nice even breath. 5 counts in. Fill up. 5 counts out. Blow it out. And then release. Grab that strap again. We're going to bring the hands over to the left hip. And bring this hand around in front. Your focus is right here, locking the shoulder in. So bring it around. Now this time, the left ear drops to the left shoulder. You're still looking forward. Maybe you're leaning, maybe your neck is really tight and you're not. And then take 3 sinking breaths. Focus on your exhale. Maybe close your eyes, letting your head be heavy, and stretching out the side of your neck. 1 more breath here. And then let your head float on up, release. Then we'll lean into it again, dropping left ear to left shoulder. This time slowly turning the face so you're looking down at the ground and then drawing the chin closer and closer to the chest, taking the work into the posterior scalene muscle and still in the upper trapezius. Sinking breaths, letting the head be heavy as you blow the air out. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Long, slow exhale. 1 more. And then release. Let your head come up to center. You can get rid of that strap. We're done with it. Wiggle out the shoulders a little bit. Gently bobble your head. And then we're going to use a little mobility in the neck. So imagine a figure 8 in front of your face. And you're going to trace that figure 8 with your nose. So let's start by lifting the nose and then drawing a circle to the right, up and around, and then up through the center and up and around to the left. Big circle, little circle. Hopefully they're fairly even. Let's do that again. And then we'll pause in the center and we'll go the other way. So up to the left, around, up through the center, and then up and to the right, around, and up to the center one more time. Draw that circle to the left, bring it through the center, draw your circle to the right and to the center. Let it go. All right, so we worked our way through the upper body. Let's start to focus on the lower body. Come on over to all fours and we're gonna work on hip flexors. So we're going to start by stepping the left foot through. Now, setting up this lunge a little different than we normally do. We're going to have a 90-degree bend in this knee and a 90-degree bend in this knee. Bring one hand to your low back and one hand to your belly. And we want to angle the pelvis so that we're pointing the tailbone straight down. We don't want our butts popping out behind us. So setting yourself up there and bring your right hand around to the front of your hip, right where your thighs connects to the front of your hip. That's our target area. Now, you might feel something here. If you don't, you can try lifting your right arm up, bringing the rib away from you. You might feel a little more there. You can rest your hand on your head, keeping your elbow pointed up. You can inch the left toes forward if you're still not getting much, and then take that knee up and stack it over the ankle. Pausing here. If you still want a little more, you can reach up with your left hand, grab that right wrist, lift up slightly, and then lean to your left. We're going to take 3 sinking breaths here. Focus on this right hip flexor. Blow it out. Sink in there. 2 more of those breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll slowly release and let it go. Bring it down to all fours, where we'll stretch the right leg out behind us. Look over your left shoulder and swing your foot so that you can see it, and then rest your foot on the ground. Now you can lean slightly to the right and get a little stretch in that right side of the hip, the right side of the waist. And then we'll let it go. Bring it back to all fours, and we'll do the same sequence on the other side. Step the right foot forward. 90 degree in the front knee, 90 degree in the back. 1 hand on the belly, 1 hand on the low back. And angle your pelvis so that your tailbone points straight down. And put your left hand in the front where your thigh muscle meets the hip bone. That's your hip flexor. Now, if you've got enough sensation, you can stay here. You can reach your left hand up, or you can inch the right toes forward and then take that knee up over the ankle, and then this hip will come in front of the back knee. You can reach up and grab that left wrist if you like. For the most, you can lift the left wrist and then lean to the right. 3 sinking breaths, really focusing on that hip flexor area as you blow it out. 2 more of those breaths. Inhale. Slow exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Blow it out. Ridiculously long, slow exhale. And then we'll release. Bring it on down. Back to all fours and stretch your left leg out long. Look over your right shoulder and move your foot to where you can see it. Put it down on the ground and lean into your left side a little bit. And let's take that back to all fours, and we're going to head to downward facing dog. So tuck the toes under. Drop your head as you lift your knees off the mat, lift your hips, and begin to pedal out the hips a little, or pedal out the heels a little. Maybe take your feet wider than you normally would, since we haven't worked on hamstrings just yet. And then pause. Lift your right leg up behind you, three-legged dog, any height that feels good. Roll that right ankle a few times and begin to look under your right arm as you turn your belly button out to the side towards the long edge of the mat. And then square the hips back to the mat and look up at your right hand. Bend your right knee and step your foot up to the outside of that right hand, maybe turning the toes out slightly. Keep your left hand on the mat and then sweep that right hand up high, revolved lunge, looking up there. And then we'll bring it on down. We're going to drag that right foot back and kick it back up into that three-legged dog. And then put it down. Let's try that on the left side. Lift up into three-legged dog. Look under your left arm. Turn your hips so your belly button's opening up to the side. And then square your hips back. Look at your left hand and we'll step that left foot up, turning the toes out slightly on that left foot. And then revolve your lunge. And bring it on down. Now we're going to get a little movement. Drag that left foot back, kick it into three-legged dog. We're going to do that sequence with the breath 3 times on each side. So starting from down dog, on the inhale, right leg up, three-legged dog. As you exhale, step the right foot to the mat, lunge. Inhale, revolve lunge. Exhale, hand down. Inhale, three-legged dog, right leg high. Exhale, step it down and through. Inhale, revolve lunge. Exhale, down. Last one on this side. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it down. Inhale, revolve lunge. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, three-legged dog. And then we step to downward facing dog so we can switch to the other side. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step it down. Inhale, revolve lunge. Exhale, the hand down. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it down, lunge. Inhale, revolve lunge. Exhale it down. One more time. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it down. Inhale, revolve lunge. Exhale it down. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it down, downward facing dog. Pedal out the heels, drop your head so you're looking at your feet. And then begin to shuffle your feet forward, coming halfway up the mat, walking the hands back towards the feet, bending the knees a lot. Letting your belly rest on the tops of your thighs as you drop your head and you sway it out a little in this ragdoll. And then we're going to focus on the hamstrings. So bringing the hands onto the knees, we're going to bring our fingers right into the fronts of those hip bones. Pushing the hip bones back as you refold yourself. Lots of bend in the knees here. It's like you're wearing a seat belt and it's pulling you back as you're leaning forward. Drop your head. Eventually free your hands and hook your index fingers behind your calves, just loosely. Let your head hang. If you need a little more action, you can gently and subtly lift your tailbone and then let it drop back down. And take a nice slow sinking breath here. As you exhale, lift the tailbone just a little. Now we'll release out of that. And we'll come to a halfway lift, sliding the hands up the fronts of the shins, straightening out the legs. So the hands are going to come up onto the thighs, and you're just going to push the thighs back gently. Different feeling here, more at the attachment points at the back of the knees and up high. And then we'll rebend the knees, sliding the hands back down. Halfway lift with the breath. Inhale, straightening out the legs, nice flat back. Exhale into your forward fold. 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. 1 more. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands up onto the knees and turn. I'm going to turn to the right. You can turn to whichever side angles you at your screen and start to take your feet wider to a wide-legged forward straddle. Now you can leave your hands here on your knees with a little bend in your knees if you need to, but I prefer to reach for the ground and rock in the feet. Rocking from toes to heels, finding the sweet spot for your hamstring, and then hanging out there. Dropping your head, 3 sinking breaths here. As you exhale, allow your head to melt towards the ground. Relax your shoulders. Exhale. Inhale. Big exhale. One more. Really let the shoulders go as you exhale. And begin to lift your head back up. Come up about halfway. Let's turn the right toes out. Begin to walk the hands over to the right, taking a side squat. Now you can be up here. Maybe you lift that toe, or you can sink down a little lower. Maybe you can lift up that left toe if you want to. You don't have to. Nice big exhale, focusing on the inside of that straight leg. And we'll bring it back to center, and we'll do the other side. So turn the left toes out first so that the ankle and the knee are going in the same direction. Bend that left knee. Come to any height that feels good to you and move your hands wherever they need to be to support you. Focus on your exhale and focus on the inside of the straight leg. We'll make our way back to center, and we'll flow between those two sides. Starting to the left, take a breath in. We're going to turn both toes out, and as you exhale, bend the left knee. Side squat. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Last time to the left. Inhale, center. Last time to the right. Inhale to the center. And let's start to walk our hands towards the top of the mat. Pivoting around into a lunge, dragging that left foot back to a down dog, dropping your head, shaking it out. Shake it yes, shake it no, draw a circle. And when you're ready, bend your knees, bringing them down to the mat. Take your knees as wide as they'll go and still be on the mat. Walk your hands forward. Keep your hands glued to the mat and sink into that child's pose. Maybe even take your hands a little wider than the mat, just leaving your thumbs on the mat. Trying to rest your head down if you can. Now imagine my hand is pressing right in between your shoulder blades. Take a breath in and a sinking breath, letting your chest drop towards the ground. Blow it out. 2 more of these. Big exhale. 1 more time. Take that breath in. And surrender on the exhale, chest towards the mat. When you're ready, lift your head and start to make your way up to a seated position, swinging your legs around in front of you. Let's work on the outer hip now. And so we're going to start by dropping our knees to the right and arranging your legs in kind of a pinwheel shape. 90-90 is the cue, but I find the back leg never goes to 90 degrees because I just don't find that to be very comfortable. So what you want to do is get this front shin parallel to the short edge of the mat and then arrange your back leg in a way that's comfortable. One hand on your knee, your right hand on your knee, and your left hand on your foot. You're going to start to lean forward and then walk your hands out. Your belly is coming over your ankle and your calf. And maybe you'll come down onto your elbows. As you exhale, sink this outer hip into the mat. It's a variation on a pigeon pose. Blow it out strong as you exhale. We'll take 1 more breath here, 10 more seconds. Really release on that exhale. As you finish that breath, you can make your way up. We're going to make a little adjustment. You're going to rotate the torso so that your belly is coming right over your thigh. Begin to lay your belly down on that right thigh. And maybe you'll stay up here if that causes you any discomfort, or you can get low, or you can get really low and really allow the weight of the body to press that outer thigh, that IT band, into the ground. Find your breath. Focus on your exhale. One more breath here. 10 more seconds. As you finish that breath, to make your way up, a final adjustment. Now you can walk your hands over and come down onto your forearms, or bring your right elbow down and reach your left arm up and reach up and overhead. That might feel nice too. Take a nice slow breath. Feel that space between the left rib and the front of the left hip get longer and longer as you inhale. We'll take 10 more seconds here. One more breath. As you finish, come on up. We'll bring the legs out in front, and we'll do all of that on the other side. So feet on the ground, drop the knees to the left. Arrange yourself. First, the front leg. Shin is parallel to this front, the short edge of the mat, sorry. And then sit up tall. One hand on your foot, one hand on your knee. You're leaning forward, so you're taking your body right over the calf. And then settle in wherever it feels good to you. Up on your hands, up here, or very low. As you exhale, sink the outside of that left hip into the ground. And we'll take 10 more seconds here. One more breath. And as you finish with that breath, come up so we can make that adjustment. Rotating the torso, laying the belly down on the thigh, finding the height of the shoulders that works for you, wiggling your way in there, maybe close your eyes, sinking breaths. Big inhale, seriously long exhale. One more. Inhale. Now let it go. Let yourself melt on that exhale. As you finish that breath, come up for your final adjustment in this sequence, walking the hands to the left a little more. Maybe staying here. You're going to start to feel a little more in this outer hip, or coming down onto that left elbow, sweeping the right arm up to the ceiling or over your head, reaching into it. And breathe. And one more breath here. 10 more seconds. As you finish that breath, come on up. Bring the legs around in front of you. And we're going to come on to our back, finishing with low back. So feet are going to stay on the mat, knees bent. Come onto your back and begin to windshield wiper your knees, dropping them to the right and then to the left. In a big sweeping motion, quick or slow, whatever feels good to you. And then we'll pause. You're going to lift up your hips just a few inches off the mat. Move your butt over to the right just a few inches. And then we'll bring the right knee in, holding on to it. Stretch the left leg out long. And then drop your right hand to the ground and stretch it away from you, palm facing up. Now you're going to guide this knee across and roll onto your left hip. And your shoulder, your hip, and your foot on the left side should be in a straight line. Now rock your head and find the sweet spot for your neck. Close your eyes. Focus for a second on the front of your right shoulder. And maybe you're going to want to move your right hand a little higher to get a little more intensity there, or maybe lower for less. 3 sinking breaths with just ridiculously long exhales. Rinse all of the air out of the belly. 2 more breaths. Really blow it out here. Like you mean it. 1 more. Big old exhale. And then release. Come onto your back. Bring your feet back onto the mat and your hips back to the center. Windshield wiper the knees a few times. And then we'll lift the butt up and move your hips over to the left. Put your butt back down. Bring your left knee in and hold on to it as you stretch your right leg out long. Now drop your left hand down to the ground, slide it away from you, palm facing up. Begin to guide your knee across your body, rolling your hip into that space between your shoulders and your ankle. Maybe play around with the height of your knee. Then begin to rock your head, finding where your neck is the most happy. Close your eyes. Do you want to move that left hand? If so, go ahead. Just you want to keep contact with the ground with that left forearm. Now those 3 sinking breaths. It is very important to empty out all of the air here. 2 more, just like that. Really blow it out. Let that tension go. 1 last time. Blow it out. And when you finish with that breath, find your way back to the center. Bring your feet back to the mat, bringing your hips back into the middle. Let your arms drop down by your side, little spinal mobility to finish. Tuck the tail under, just rock your tailbone under, and then unrock it. So the small of your back, do that again, rocking the hips so you're tucking the tail, and then untuck the tail. Add the breath this time. Inhale as you tuck the tail, and exhale as you release. Now this time we'll lift the hips up. Inhale, tuck the tail, lift the hips, gentle little bridge pose. And then exhale, lower it back down. Again, inhale, swing the tailbone under, lift the hips up. Exhale, put it back down. 1 more like that. Inhale, tuck the tail, lift the hips, not too high. And then lower it back down. We're going to add the arms. Inhale, lifting the hips, reaching the arms up, maybe even up and overhead. And then exhale, bring it all back down. 2 more like that. Inhale, floating bridge, sweep it up. Exhale, massage out the spine as you bring the hands and hips down. 1 more time. Inhale, it all comes up. Blow it out as you bring it all back down to the ground. Final relaxation. Now you can stay here with your feet on the mat, or you can stretch your legs out long. Either way, kind of shake out the legs, rock the hips, and then take your attention to your upper body. Lift your chest off the mat, realign your shoulder blades, just let them do what they want to do, and rock your head. Find a place to rest your hands. They're on your belly or out to the side, something that's comfortable. Don't be afraid to take up space. Close your eyes and take a slow breath, letting the air go like a slow leak out of a tire. There's nothing left to do but just be still and rest. And you can lay here for as long as you need, or you can begin to deepen your breath. Exhaling with a big old sigh. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And walking your feet onto the mat if they're not already. Begin to sway your knees from side to side. And gently rocking your head. Rocking across the low back each time the knees go from one side, pressing some fresh blood into the low back to the other. And when you find your knees going to the right the next time, go ahead and let that momentum carry you onto your right side. And get comfortable there. And close your eyes and just take 3 easy breaths. And when you finish that 3rd breath, begin to ease yourself up off the floor to some sort of seated position, whatever works for you. When you get here, we'll interlace the fingers and just lazily stretch the arms out, lower chin towards chest, round the upper back, and take a breath. And as you exhale, release the hands with a little flourish, sweep them back, find the ground behind you. As you lean back, lift your chin and take a breath. And begin to sit up tall. One final breath to open up the side ribs, sweep the arms up and overhead, reach up, look up. Press the palms and bring the hands down the center line. Thank you so much for joining me today for this little body maintenance class. I hope it helped with some of those aches and pains. I'll see you soon. Namaste.